Welcome chuffers. I'm not in the garden today. Today we're going to be doing some running repairs on my Accucraft Dora. But first, here's the metal. Yes, so the Dora. A few months ago, 6 months ago maybe a bit longer, I fulfilled a bit of a childhood dream of buying myself a steam-powered garden train, which I have to say has been not the greatest of experiences, not the experiences that I had hoped. Now, I don't think that is really any fault of Accucraft. I think it's just trying to create a live steam engine on this kind of price. It's difficult because, steam engines are complex beasts. Now, this is the cheapest, I think the cheapest live steam engine that you can buy probably in the world. I think Mammods might make cheaper ones, but this is potentially a little bit of a step up. And I live in Australia, where it's very difficult to get Mammods anyway. Now, my experience of this loco is I bought her really because I liked the idea of being able to kit bash, as you can remove the body quite easily with two little screws from the actual engine. Now, I found that most of the time I've ended up just running her without her body on because it's just annoying to put on and off. And with the body on, it makes it very difficult to actually get to any of the controls, to actually drive them around the garden. It also makes it very difficult to fill the fuel up, which brings us to my first point. This has, I think, the sort of standard, I think they call it a Ronson valve filler, but when the body is on, like so, the usual cigarette lighter gas that you buy, there's absolutely no way you can fit that in there. Now, I have bought a variety of adapters, all from Accucraft's distributor in Australia, to try and get around this problem. None of them, to be honest, work. So this is expensive. It's used to refill cigarette lighters and things like that. This stuff is exactly the same, but is used to go in those little one burner hobs, which when you read on the internet and stuff, lots of Americans say they buy them in the Chinese stores because they're used quite a lot to sort of cook with woks. But here in Australia, they are mostly in places like Anaconda or even dollar stores get them. So it's pretty good. It just clicks on like that. And then this little Soto adapter should mean that you can just plug in there and it fills up. I don't think it actually works though. I've never managed to get a decent fill of gas from that. So I've always had to resort to using this. Now, also, pushing on this whole unit here is only held on by these two little nuts here, right? Not a major problem because you can kind of just about get in there to hand tighten them, but one of them never really gets tight. And I've been having a look at it today, and I think that the thread at the top is actually not right. So you can wind it up, but then you just wobble the fuel tank a bit and it winds itself back down again. So I don't think the actual nut is properly being held on there. I personally think there should be double nuts on these so you can lock one against the other, or they should have been shipped with a bit of Loctite or something on, because the problem is that if this moves, then this moves this assembly, and this assembly has the gas burner on the end of it. And if you move the gas burner, which you can do because this is now loose, even moving it that much changes the amount of fuel and oxygen mixture going into the burner, and it stops you from getting a strong enough burn, and it stops the water boiling, and you waste a lot of fuel. And you don't ever really get up to speed or temperature, which means you don't really ever get the thing going around, and so you don't get very long run times. Now, all of this is just a factor of having to make these things cheaply, but honestly, for the cost of two more nuts, I think that would be a lot better. The other issues I've had with this is I've probably only run this thing well under 20 times, maybe under 15 times, and from taking the body on and off, which I can't see how you can have this locomotive without taking the body on and off, because everything you need to get to is so hidden inside the cab that you can't get to it. But there's some quite major scratches here and on this side, and the heat, because when this is a light, it shoots flame down there, and you light it by popping it in the end, so that it shoots out, and then you get a little bit of blue flame at the end, which obviously really superheats this end door, which gets red hot when you do it. But all the paint on the end has peeled off. There was a nice little number 7 painted on there, but that paint's just gone. So I can only imagine that they haven't used heat-proof paint. So that is quite annoying. What else is annoying? These are all the little nuts and things. Well, I had a problem with this one when I first got it, that the fuel jet blocked, which again may be a function of bad fuel or something, but that combined with the fact that the fuel tank is loose, just not that great. Now also, again, this is because I'm a newbie, but I've been a newbie at a lot of things over the years, and I do think that potentially you could sell these with a bit more of a kit than it came with. So it did come with a little it came with a set of syringes and some pipes, so to fill up the water and the oil, and it came with a set of heat-proof gloves, which you do need because the whole thing gets red hot. But I think you could have easily added in an adapter to fit on one of these cans to go into the fueling thing, especially considering the lid to get in there is, it's really not that accessible. Even to sort of try and fill up the steam oil or the water is not that great. Put this back on. So yeah, lovely that I fulfilled a childhood dream of having a live steam engine outside, but the truth is I don't really run it. Because it's a lot of effort to actually get it running, and then when it is running, it runs for about, I think the maximum I've ever had it going round is about 5 minutes, and it's so overgeared, which I did know before I bought it. I do understand that these little kind of small engines just run flat out and they're not geared, and you could gear them down or potentially hang some weight off the back of a braked wagon, and I have thought about doing that, but it just seems a lot. And for a starter kit for someone, and there's a potential chance that this might not be going to me, a hairy 38-year-old man, and might be going to some kid that wants to start out in the hobby. And I can't really see this would be that much of an in for them. If I got this, I'd probably play with it twice as a kid, and then would be like, well, this is really difficult, it doesn't really work. So yes, that is my honest living with thing, and having said that, when I look at bigger live steam trains, you go, oh, is this going to be any better? Now, I'm sure it will be better, but it'll also be a lot more work. And potentially, maybe that is just a problem with running live steam engines at this scale, is they're not toys. They are little steam engines and need to be looked after as such. Anyway, I just wanted to record that for my channel because I don't really feel like I've put a lot of comments about the Dora on recently or shown her running, and that's why. So yes, maybe in the future if I have a less twisty track or something, she'll come out a bit more because she won't fall off the track so much. But yes, that is that. So as ever, thanks for watching. Choo choo. Oh, I forgot. Please like and subscribe. I'm up to over 50 subscribers now. I think I hit 52 or 51 today, which is not very much really in the grand scheme of things, but it is growing. And I do like doing this, and I would like to know your thoughts on what you would like next on the channel. So actually now, choo choo.